This is the team of Island Air. Every day, they risk everything. The Kodiak Peaks and wicked seas make the island the world's most treacherous place to fly. These are the tales of Alaska's ultimate bush pilots. Kodiak Island, one of the most volatile areas of Alaska. Kodiak's extreme weather, rugged landscape, and rough seas make this place the deadliest piece of the planet to access by bush plane. For over 30 years,
we've got an annual coming up in about 2 months.
Bob Stanford and Island Air have kept Kodiak running.
And all summer long, this plane's been working hard.
3-1, go ahead.
From flights to remote villages, to transporting hunters and anglers on adventures of a lifetime.
All right, guys, we're ready. Let's load up.
Do it. Let's go hunting.
Here down in there, the fleet consists of a Piper Cherokee 6. We've got a de Havilland Beaver on floats and a Britain Norman Islander. They're all very tough airplanes. They're your pickup trucks of the north.
Yeah, we're just dropping off mail. I think we got a little bit of freight for them.
It takes more than just machines to make this business work.
So the wind is going down, which is good.
Emily Pack is the dispatcher at Island Air.
We're not moving.
She keeps everything on the ground running smoothly.
I love Island Air. We're all a big family and we watch out for each other.
In the air, Bob has veteran pilot Eric Howard.
I wanted to fly here in Kodiak for the challenge. Lots of adventure around here.
Float plane pilot in training Peter Rosendahl.
I'm the pilot, I'm the cargo guy. Gotta be a jack of all airplane trades to do the kind of flying up here.
We're a lifeline to everybody out here. That's the story.
Here you go, Shannon. Here's the last of it.
I like flying. I always have. That's where I go to my happy place.
Beaver's a 54, Pilot's a 56. They're both good years. Yeah. So.
1,000 scattered, ceiling 1,800 broken, 3,000 overcast, temperature 7, dew point.
Meteorologist Craig Eckert forecasts the weather on Kodiak.
So this evening's storm should be pretty interesting. Here's the main front from this giant low out in the Bering Sea. Precipitation is all on right over Kodiak. This looks like 35, maybe 40 knots.
3 days ago, Bob dropped off a couple hunters in Hidden Basin. The storm has turned their trip of a lifetime into a nightmare.
We're in a bad spot. We need help.
The wind speeds have reached 50 miles per hour and have destroyed their tent. Without shelter, hypothermia could set in within a matter of hours.
We need something. We need help.
The hunters are requesting an emergency rescue flight. But the weather has grounded Island Air's planes.
40 miles per hour is a no-go for our airplanes.
From the forecast, we got 2 more days of bad winds coming and rain. We know we're not flying. We're used to fast-moving weather, but it's not moving. It's just sitting here churning away on us.
The hunters need help.
We're soaking wet, we're cold.
But it's not coming anytime soon. A massive storm has brought Kodiak's air traffic to a standstill. Bearing the brunt of the weather, a group of hunters in Hidden Basin.
We need help and we need it soon.
They've called Island Air for an emergency rescue flight, but the planes are grounded because of a severe storm.
The The weather's the biggest obstacle. These low pressure areas built out there in that environment, and they just come barreling down, you know, along the Alaska Peninsula. And, you know, it's bad is when they stop and decide to park here for a little while.
This storm's not moving. So all the hunters can do is hunker down and wait. Overnight, the storm has slowed slightly, giving Bob a chance to rescue the desperate hunters.
Looked out there, the wind's dropped. I see sunshine out to the east. It's like, you know, go time. Kodiak Tower, Beaver, 47 Alpha Kilos, Basin, outbound Middle Bay. Yeah, copy the Beaver, we're clear. And I saw that winds down and weather break. You don't know when they're going to come, but when they do, you just kick it gear. Off we go.
Temperatures dropped to 39 degrees last night, and the island was pelted with 3 inches of rain.
They probably have potentially a pretty miserable night.
Bob has no idea what shape the hunters are in.
We're breaking records with rain, wind, and we've got nothing but rain and fog ahead of us.
Well, just looking at the rivers right here, there's a lot of water here. I mean, these overflowing their banks. I'm expecting them to be right into this area.
But on this 3,500 square mile island, locating a few hunters is like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Oh, there they are. It's an interesting tent set up there with the tarp.
I'm guessing the wind came falling through here and just blew their whole camp flat. It's a good way to stay warm and dry right there.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Got swamped. Well, that's where we were sleeping tonight.
The hunters have survived the frigid night by using their tarp as shelter.
Can't stay out there for long without a tent, so. We're surprised you came and we're happy to see you.
I asked him what was blowing 40, 50, he goes, oh, above that. I'm trying to keep the tent up, standing there, it breaks flat. They don't have a single dry item in their camp.
The break in the storm is quickly coming to an end. Angry skies are lighting up the horizon, and the wind speeds are ramping up again, making takeoff a challenge.
There's a big swell there, 10-foot seas.
I thought it died down, but it must have been just for that moment.
Now the question becomes, can they make it back home? Unwavering commitment is a requirement in this dangerous business.
So we're definitely not going anywhere today.
I don't want to say definitely, but the weather's really not looking good.
Every day, the pilots are faced with life and death choices, dangers that Bob knows all too intimately.
Antone Larson. It happened June 30th of 1995. It's one of the few dates I can remember. We flew out to a village and picked up a group of people. They were all close friends. We all knew each other. There was a line of 9 of us, and I was in the lead. I flew around a place called Unazinki Narrows, which is all over water. I had this gut feeling to hang around and wait for Chris. You know, everything in my life, my natural life, told me this is not what I should do. I flew down to the basin, landed in the channel. Chris got into the pass, but he tried to turn around at the very narrowest portion of the pass. About 10 minutes later, I heard all these sirens headed back up there, just going by me. And I knew right there. You see crosses on the side of the hill. I see the faces. It changed me as a pilot. It changed me as a person. You know, it affected me. It still does.
Gale force winds and heavy rains have hit Kodiak Island. A break in the system has allowed Island Air to rescue the hunters from Hidden Basin. But the calm window in the storm is closing fast. Bob has precious little time to make it back to base.
There is quite a swell. These big seas easterly, it just shows right in the water, so between those areas, you're going to have shears.
Shears are quick changes in wind direction that can be deadly.
I'm just going to stay down.
Mission accomplished.
We work the windows, that's what we got to do.
We wanted to stay out 6 days. The campsite got flooded, and this morning about 4 in the morning, we got a gale force wind in, kind of broke the tent up. It was so great to hear Island Air today. The plane, boss!
Kodiak is one of the toughest places to fly in the world. Rapidly changing weather, rough seas, and high mountain peaks make this a location that only the best pilots can navigate.
I would say we average 75 hours of training. And it takes probably a month and a half, 2 months to get a pilot online.
Hey, Bob. Working for Bob's unique because he will take a brand new pilot to Alaska and train you up from day one Alaska flying.
Let's go on down and we'll see how you do.
I started flying in high school in Richardson, Texas. My dad was an airline pilot. His dad was also a pilot. I always wanted to be a pilot, so I packed a couple bags and moved to Kodiak.
So we might just do a couple of loops around.
I'm sure my grandpa's looking down on me, really stoked on what I'm doing, and my dad's always excited to hear my new stories.
Let me show you something on this line.
Island Air only accepts pilots who have finished traditional flight school. They need that experience under their belt before they can tackle a float plane.
All right.
When you get into the Beaver, there's no wheels on it, it's only floats.
The idea is not to fight Mother Nature. You want Mother Nature to do the work.
To do this job, you need to be pretty confident in what you do. You definitely learn from your mistakes.
So we're just gonna practice sailing into this ramp. He's tacking the plane, basically driving it right in front of the ramp, and then he's gonna shut it off if all goes right.
Ready?
You notice how it shifts? So the plane will consistently move this way, so he has to get over on the corner, and it'll slide back to it. But the only way to figure that out is miss the dock 20 times. You come this way. This is a fun stuff. If you don't like it, this ain't a good place to come fly. How much fuel's he got on board? Add a little power. Cut it. Cut it, cut it, cut it, it's there.
Bob knows what he's doing, and he can be pretty intense. He'll let you know when you're doing something wrong, and he'll let you know when you're doing something right.
Now swing your tail that way. Cut it. Too late. Too late. So you had it perfect, but you had to kill the engine.
You can either fly or you can't when they come to me. I go out and figure that out really quickly. What I want to know is how to apply them for our environment.
All right, good job.
You can see yourself grow. I'm a completely different pilot than I was when I got up here.
We're just gonna call it good for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be in about 7 minutes.
Flying is second nature to veteran pilot Bob Stanford.
So we got some gusts coming here.
He's had his wings for 30 years and has weathered everything Kodiak has thrown at him.
Been a little overrolled here.
But at any point, things can go south fast.
Yeah, we got a little problem with voltages going up too high. It should be around 27 volts. And we're up to 33. That's why my light's on.
Bob's alternator has suddenly stopped working. A huge problem. With the alternator offline, the sole source of electricity is the Beaver's battery.
There's always adventures.
His first step is to hit reset to get it back online quickly.
I'm not going to take a chance. I'm just going to shut off. I want to cook a battery here.
Bob must conserve what power is left in case the alternator doesn't reset.
So I got my alternator shut off, but if I shut my master off, my GPS goes down. You know, I've got my chart right here. You go right back to your old school, what you need to do.
A younger pilot might panic, but with thousands of hours in the pilot's seat, it's no big deal to Bob.
It's just a machine, so it adds a different quirk and you deal with it.
The good news is Bob's got Peter flying with him in a second plane. The bad news, the fog's rolled in, and Bob has lost sight of him.
Do you have me in sight?
Nope, I don't.
Okay, then I should just be a little bit ahead of you. I do not see you.
Been a little overrolled here.
While on a routine flight, Bob's alternator has mysteriously stopped working.
No, it's not coming back online.
Without an alternator, Bob must conserve what battery power he has left.
I'm just going to shut off. I want to cook a battery here.
Bob knows Peter is close by, but can't make visual contact. Even though they can't see each other, constant radio communication helps them avoid a mid-air collision.
Do you have me in sight? I do not see you.
Nope, I don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't hold it, so I'm coming around. See what we get when we get up here, I guess. Let's go another 100 yards.
I think we're just gonna keep heading this way.
To make matters worse, the storm is beginning to hit again, and this time, with a vengeance.
Come up a little bit now. Not gonna get in a hurry. Never hurts to ask the good Lord to be on your side, too. Keep us safe.
40, 45 out of the east.
Oh, baby.
Finally, Bob sees a landmark he recognizes.
Just went by the point there.
Okay, then I should just be a little bit ahead of you.
Bob finally puts eyes on Peter.
Okay, I see you now. We're almost there.
You know, I've got several more trips down this direction. I personally don't think I'm coming back down. It's just too much. Kodiak Tower, Beaver 47 Alpha Kilos off Calson Bay for the base on West Papa. Good to have this one done.
Adam Lutz has been an airplane mechanic in Alaska for the past 10 years.
You earn your pay on a day like this.
One of his favorite planes to work on is the de Havilland Beaver.
These beavers are a part of history. They're monsters. That's it.
I trust the Beaver. It's tough. It's got a lot of power. You can have things go wrong, and it's just gonna keep going. It's just a badass.
For the team of Island Air, being Kodiak's lifeline is more than a business. It's a passion.
I think Kodiak pilots are some of the best in the world. We have to deal with a lot of weather. Your younger pilots, when they first get here, they're scared to death. They have a healthy awareness of what's going on. If I can't impart what I know to the pilots that work here, then I've failed.